Carlo analysis. So you could refer to the PowerPoint slides for why we use a Monte Carlo analysis, but it's to use the power of normal distribution to help us make a more informed decision that's a step beyond the EMV process, or expected monetary value. That might give you a value of a project at, say, $10,000 is what it's worth. A Monte Carlo analysis will say you could lose up to $15,000. You could make $120,000, and there's a 11% chance you're going to take a loss on a project. So this would solve a problem where, let's say the criteria is we're going to move ahead with a project as long as the risk of loss is under $10,000 or 10%. I'm sorry, 10%. So this is a project where there's expected revenue of $300,000, fixed cost of $130,000, variable cost of $100,000, and you have standard deviations for these data sets. You can see the variable cost. It's got a huge standard deviation. It's fluctuating wildly is what we'd expect. But let's run some simulations and see what our minimum expected output and maximum expected could be. So I have a formula here that shows the simulation formulas, and you'll notice your numbers will change, and that's fine because we're using Excel's random formula, and that will change whenever you tweak something in your spreadsheet, and that's okay. So your numbers are not going to match exactly what mine look like here or here or here. These are going to be different. But what you'll notice is I have a simulation, and it populates a random number, and the mean or expected return is 300,000, which is B5, and we have a standard deviation of B6, and it's giving us, on a normal distribution basis, a random number that's going to fit in a bell curve with this mean and the standard deviation. So our first simulation, we get revenue of 303,000, which is actually pretty close to our mean. Fixed cost of 161, variable of 71,000, and we've got 5 trials here. This is just using, it's just this simulation, but done 5 times. And if you need to do it for, if you want to run 20 simulations, well, here's 20. Drag it down, and you'll notice that this data here changes based on what you have selected. And we'll actually want to delete this. Delete what's in I1, but this will give you your mean, standard deviation for the population, the minimum expected output, and the maximum, and it actually gives you a risk of loss